Now, it's a political protest, a way of finding creative space and a place for homeless people to find a bed. But peers will soon vote on a new law which would make squatting a criminal offence. Squatters could face hefty fines, even prison, if they're found guilty. New figures show the number of homeless people has risen 14% over the last year, and the charity Crisis says almost half of all squatters have nowhere else to live. Kieran Jenkins reports.
She's a graduate from a top university, house hunting on a leafy South London street. But Catherine Brogan's not looking to buy, she's looking to squat.
You look out for things like an untidy garden. You can see from this property that you've actually got plants growing through the windows. It's very clearly not somebody's home.
It's actually the property of Lewisham Council. They want to sell it, but until then it's a squat, a renovation project for Catherine and her friends. Artists, performers and poets who say they've got nowhere else to go.
I find myself in a situation of being made redundant 3 times in 3 years, filling out 80 application forms, living as an au pair, going back to being a home carer, living in a very precarious way. And there's really very few options for people.
People like Keith Robin, who squats because
I've got a brain tumour that's shutting down the left-hand side of my body. I have to live on benefits. Housing benefit won't pay enough for me to rent a flat on my own. And these people are all my sort of carers, and they work for free.
They also live for free. No rent, only the bills, whether it's electricity or internet access. And squatting an empty house gives them some protection under the law. If you want them out and they want to stay, it's up to you to take them to court. Squatting's already against the law if you squat in a home someone's living in. What the government wants to do, though, is to criminalise all squatting that affects residential properties. And there's a bill going through the House of Lords at the moment that would mean fines or even prison sentences for people who squat, even if their building's been empty for some time. Janice Mason's house in East London was empty for just 6 months before it was squatted. You've got a bed in your sitting room. Why is that?
Well, because I'm frightened to stay anywhere else. I just want to stay here and protect the property.
Janice inherited the house from her mother. She feels failed by the law as it stands. So what do you think of squatters now?
I don't like them very much. I think it needs to be stopped immediately. I really do think they shouldn't be able to infiltrate people's homes, abuse the system as they do, and upset people's lives.
But squatters offer this defence.
If people don't have anywhere else to live, then unfortunately they have to resort to this way of life.
So why is the government banning squatting when homelessness rose again this week to 50,000 families? Do you have any sympathy at all for people who say they would be homeless if they weren't squatting?
No, I don't, because squatting is not an answer to homelessness. A proper homelessness strategy, which is what the government's got, spending a very substantial amount of money to address the homeless, is the answer to homelessness. But squatting is simply going to be a criminal offence for taking over a property, stealing a property, which does not belong to you.
But in Lewisham, they vowed to squat on, even if it means swapping an empty home for a crowded prison.